but they do share many of the same traits.
Look at the size of these paws. Look at the size of those paws. Listen. Very little sound is generated from this creature as it moves. And that's very important when it comes to leaping or pouncing.
If you have a swamp buggy, you can drive for miles and never leave the boundaries of the big cypress swamp.
Great about these swamp buggies, you can just plow right through this water. Wow, look at this. Look what's coming up. Roads? Who needs roads? Problem, this thing has no brakes. We won't tell the Seminole people that I just stripped the gears of their nice swamp buggy. Yes, that's me. When you go to your car in the parking lot, there's this big scrape. I don't know, did I leave that little note? Sorry. Everything's all flooded, so if we want to find some snakes, we got to go to some drier habitat. And that hammock looks like a good place.
We're actually moving off of Seminole Land and into an area called the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary.
We're looking for that dry stuff because this ground is so saturated. See, this is probably too wet. It's not too hot yet, so it could be moving anywhere. Okay, look right there. See that? Tucked underneath this layer of pine cones is a beautiful, beautiful serpent. I'm gonna go around the other side because I've learned from this sort of snake, they've got a pretty good strike range. Look at this beautiful, beautiful snake. You gotta see this. Come here and look at this. That beautiful face is sticking right out. Its tongue tickling in the air. See that? That triangular shape and those divots are a clue to us that we are dealing with a viper. Just look at the tail. See that? A rattle. So we have an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Look at how pretty she is. And I should be able just to move in very quietly and carefully without agitating her. So I'm just going to secure the back end of her tail like this, and now I can work her safely. I've got her out of strike range, so she can't strike me, and now I can hold her up like this, so you can have a look at this gorgeous snake. Look at the size of it. Look how stocky this creature is. She's got two very large fangs to the front, large venom glands, Duvenois glands, and can deliver a copious amount of venom. Now, what's neat about the venom of this animal is the venom is not only designed to be lethal, it's also designed to liquefy, to dissolve the flesh, to promote the digestive process of the prey that this creature is eating, such as a rodent. In the case of an eastern diamondback, famous for eating rabbits. Love to eat rabbits. So let's place this creature back into this little area where we discovered it and see what else we can find here in the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary. Aren't you beautiful? Look at that. There she goes. Smart you are. Yes. You will be. Very excited. Oh, look at this, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at that. Look at this. That is a beautiful, beautiful serpent. Look at this. A serpent famous for its beauty and famous for its toxicity, its venom. A snake you have to be very careful with. It's a coral snake. It's a coral snake. Very venomous. See how he just wants to burrow like that? Just wants to burrow. There we go. The reason why I'm holding him, because I have something in my pocket I want to show you. I'm just gonna pull out this thing. It's in this bag. This is an animal that is used by the wildlife biologists at the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary to tell the story of snakes. And I'm going to tell you a very happy story. It's about a ballerina wannabe. Look at this snake here. Look at this. In my left hand, I've got the coral snake. It is the most venomous snake in the New World. And coral snakes practice aposematic coloration, bright warning colors that send a message, stay away, because I don't want to bite. But if I do, you're up the creek without a paddle, putty. And look at this guy right here. Same colors, red, black, and yellow. This one I'm being a lot more cavalier with because this is the scarlet king snake. And it practices aposematic coloration as well, but it's mimicry. It is hoping to confuse those would-be predators to say, hey, I don't know, buddy, you willing to take a chance, huh? You gonna take a chance? For one meal, bite me, I bite you, you're in trouble? So how do you know the difference? It's all in the pattern. It's all in the pattern. If you look at this coral snake, you'll see the red is touching the yellow. If you look at this scarlet king snake, the red is touching the black. And as we say, red touches black, friend a jag. Red touches yellow, kill a fellow. So, which is which? This is the dangerous one. This is the mimic, the non-venomous one. Again, it is not the nature of this animal to be aggressive. It's one of the benefits. Why you swallow my wrist? He's like, this guy's pretty tough. And it still has sharp. Stop! You're a crazy snake. Why you do this to me? Bite you back. See, now I'm glad I know that poem, because if I was out in the wilderness and this guy just started chowing on me like that, and I didn't know that the red and black, no! What? Why are you biting me? You're on my you-know-what list. So I'm gonna return this one back to the museum. We're gonna put this one back under this palmetto palm, or I'll just let him skate his way down. That's cool. That is so cool. That's a nice glass full. One thing about Florida, it's very wet. Tons of water, one of the wettest states in North America. You have a lot of natural limestone springs like this, which snake their way through this habitat. Something interesting about all this water is that for hundreds of years, it's been a part of the folklore of this land. It's been a part of Native American folklore and even the ancient European folklore. For example, Ponce de Leon, when he came to Florida, he was in search of magical water. Water containing properties which could reduce one's age. You know what I'm talking about, the fountain of youth. It was in an area just like this. Perhaps it could have been this source of water. Now, I'm not saying this is the fountain of youth, but I'm a gambling man, and I'm willing to take a chance. So, here's to youth and a little luck.
I knew it was just a myth.
Hi. Well, there is a legitimate reason why I have both an alligator and a crocodile in my hand, because a lot of people don't know the differences between alligators and crocodiles, and I thought I'd show you. Now, this is the alligator, and this is the crocodile. Both belong to the same group we call crocodilians, but there are many differences between the two. Alligators prefer more of a freshwater habitat. That's not to say that they won't venture into some brackish water, but they like slow-moving streams. They like ponds just like this. This animal is much more adapted to survive in a marine environment. You find them living more to the coast. You find them living in estuarian-type habitats. Now, that's not to say this guy can't venture his way up into freshwater habitat. And there are places in Florida where you can find both alligators and crocodiles living together. But for the most part, alligators prefer the freshwater habitat, while these animals are more designed for a marine environment. So, speaking of marine environment, look at the tails. What you'll notice is that on the crocodile, I'm the crocodile right here, you'll notice that the scutes are much higher. These are the scutes. They're raised up, and the surface between those scutes, okay, much flatter, all right? While the alligator, you'll see the rows, see where my thumb is going? Those scutes are more pronounced, while the scutes along the side aren't raised, aren't fin-like, as you see with the crocodile. See how they're very fin-like? Here are the biggest differences between alligators and crocodiles. It is in the head region. And what you'll notice is that the alligator has a very broad snout. See? Very broad. While the crocodile has a longer and more narrow snout. All right? Wonderful stuff. And it's only in Florida, only in this pristine habitat of Florida, that you can see both alligators and crocodiles living together. Amazing stuff.
Okay, now that you've seen some really cute swamp babies, I want to introduce you to a real swamp monster.
Look at this. Look at the size of this guy. His name's Superman. And of course, you can't come to Florida without seeing a gator. And you're looking at one of the largest ones living in the state of Florida. This guy is pushing near to 14 feet in length. It's a huge animal. Now, out in the wild, a gator this size is a rare sight indeed. You're looking at an animal that's probably somewhere between 50 and 60 years in age. And this guy's probably weighing somewhere between 800 to 1,000 pounds. It is a perfectly designed animal. Essentially, you're looking at one great scaly eating machine. And in a mid-aged gator, it probably has somewhere around 80 teeth in its mouth. But this animal will grow teeth throughout its lifetime, and it will produce upwards to 3,000 teeth. Now I'm going to move in, but I want to move in very cautiously, very slowly. And when this guy's in a bad mood, you might be missing a leg, so you got to be careful. So, hear that sound? That's the sign of agitation. That's the sound of a gator who says you're getting a little too close. What you're probably thinking is the number one defense for this creature is its teeth, which is true. This creature can't bite. But coming in pretty close to its teeth is this animal's tail. It has a huge, muscular tail. And when this creature feels threatened, it will curl the tail back and whack forward. And a tail like this is strong enough to break your legs if it were to walk you. And just look at the girth of this tail. You see that? It's a very thick tail. A lot of energy is stored in this creature. Now, in addition to being protected by that arsenal of teeth in its mouth, a mace-like tail, which could snap the legs of any would-be predator, it's also protected by this skin, this dermis. It has a very thick hide. And inside each of these little divisions, these scale-like plates, are scutes, okay? That hurt. Bony-like structures. And I just got a feel of that tail. Well, I wanted to talk about this gator a little more. Apparently, he's had enough, and I have too. I hope you enjoyed our journey through Florida. All the wonderful creatures, from the manatees to the alligators to the snakes and crocodiles. A great place, a very important part of North America's natural history. I look forward to seeing you again on the Jeff Corwin Experience.